jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell. Excuse me.
Was you making another cup of tea, dear? Oh, bollocks! Was that comment directed at my tea-making abilities, or are you attempting to communicate with the unemployed?
Oh, I hit my bloody thumb. There's something wrong with this hammer.
Oh, no. Did it spring a leak, or did you forget to plug it in?
Probably made in China, thrown together by a 10-year-old in a backstreet sweatshop somewhere. You can't get good craftsmanship anymore.
That's rich, coming from a man who can't even hang a picture without taking his thumb off.
Hey, a little bit of sympathy wouldn't go amiss here. Have you any idea how important the development of an opposable thumb was to the evolution of Homo sapiens? I should probably lose the thumb, regress and become a chimpanzee.
Don't suppose I'd notice much difference. Spend most of your waking hours drinking tea as it is.
Well, at least I'll be well qualified to go into politics. Troop of monkeys would do a better job of running the country than this one.
Now don't start, it's Christmas. You should try to keep your blood pressure down. Today's the last day we'll see Caroline and Adrian for nearly a month, so I don't want you discussing politics or religion.
Oh, how silly of me. I mean, heaven forbid that we associate Christmas with religion.
They'll all be here soon. Did you book Caroline and Adrian a taxi for 4:30?
Yes, I did, my little bowl of cherries. Well, I don't see why we couldn't have taken them to Heathrow ourselves.
Because you said you didn't want to spend a moment longer than necessary with your son-in-law. Because you said Jill and Harry would be left on their own. And because you said it would be too dark.
Well, I don't, they would, and it will be. Besides, why are they still going all that way in her condition? You're not supposed to fly when you're pregnant.
Perhaps they're flying a club. Anyway, she's only a bit pregnant.
What are you talking about? You can't be a bit pregnant. It's a binary state. You either are or you're not. It's like saying she's a bit dead.
Splendid analogy. Thank you, darling. That should keep me amused over the festive season, when I think of our firstborn zooming about the stratosphere at 600 miles an hour, held aloft by wings that were probably screwed on by a drunken Scotsman loading the wrong size spanner.
I've told you a million times not to exaggerate. Why are you so afraid of flying anyway?
Because we don't have wings and they don't give us a parachute.
You should have listened to Spike Milligan. He knew what he was talking about.
Oh, what words of wisdom did he dispense on the subject?
Spike said, flying isn't dangerous. Now crashing, that is dangerous.
Very funny. Are you finished with this hammer?
Yeah.
Jill and Harry should be here soon. I'm really looking forward to spending Christmas with them. Jill and I can have a good chinwag and get tipsy tomorrow while you clear up after lunch.
Oh, great. There's nothing I like better than spending Christmas afternoon watching the Queen's speech whilst trying not to listen to a couple of binge-drinking menopausal women talking about their old boyfriends.
If you don't stop complaining, we'll swap the Queen for the full Monty.
Sounds like a good swap to me. Might even make the opening of Parliament a bit more interesting. Just try not to leave me alone with Jill.
Why? Has she got the hots for you, my little stud?
Most certainly, given my fatal attraction to the female of the species. But that's not it, as you well know.
And what is your reason, O tolerant one?
She's certifiably bonkers and sex mad.
Excuse me, you're talking about my oldest friend. I gather she only discovered sex when she went onto HRT. She's simply making up for lost time.
It's Harry I feel sorry for. He used to know exactly where he stood. Weekends on his allotment, a few beers down the pub twice a week, and sex on his birthday. Yeah, he was happy, contented, and so laid back he took Valium as a pick-me-up. Now the poor old sod has to sprinkle Viagra on his cornflakes. Nah, it's not natural. Must be hard for him.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
What's the matter with you today anyway? You're not on HRT as well, are you?
Oh no, I wouldn't want to wear you out. And anyway, getting back to Jill, you know perfectly well she's highly intelligent. Although even I have to admit she can be very forthright and is slightly lacking in the social skills department.
And she's certifiably bonkers. She never listens to the other side of the conversation. It's like having two discussions at once.
She's just a bit eccentric, that's all. I don't know why, she never used to be. Must be an age thing. We lost touch after college and I didn't hear a peep out of her for 12 years. Then she turns up unannounced one day with Harry and her husband in tow. She said they'd met overseas. It's a strange match, but they seem to get on all right. I've absolutely no idea how they got together. She always deflects the question whenever I've asked her.
Perhaps we could tie her down later.
I thought you said you didn't want to get her excited.
Nor you, for that matter. Let's talk about something we're good at. What are we having for lunch tomorrow?
Well, turkey, of course.
Then why were you preparing it last night?
Because I hate Caroline and Adrian to miss out on their Christmas meal altogether, just because they're flying out this evening.
Oh, great! Reheated turkey for Christmas lunch. Nice and dry, just how I like it.
It won't be warmed up. I'm cooking another one tomorrow. I bought two.
You bloody mad! We'll be eating turkey leftovers until Easter. I can see it now. Cold turkey, turkey sandwiches, turkey and ice cream, turkey trifle.
Stop complaining. I had to get two. I'd already bought the first one. Then I remembered that Adrian only eats organic turkey.
Oh, yes. Always the brave eco-warrior.
Oh, leave the poor boy alone. The problem was I couldn't get a fresh organic turkey anywhere.
So what did you get?
A normal frozen one from Asda. But not a word to Adrian, or Caroline for that matter. He'll never know the difference.
Yes, and I'll never know what she saw in him.
Sees, darling, sees. Present tense. They're very happy together. So I want you to be on your best behaviour. It's only for a few hours and I don't want to see. Caroline's promised to have a word with Adrian.
What do you mean, have a word with Adrian? About what?
About not taking any notice of you when you start an argument.
Oh, great. So now I can't even speak my own mind in my own house. Have you any idea how this emasculation will affect our marital life?
Oh, yes, I discovered that years ago. I'll get it. It's probably Jill and Harry.
Good to see you. Merry Christmas, old boy.
Jill, lovely to see you. Thanks for coming.
Hello, Frank. My God, you've put on weight.
Some of you.
Fine, thanks. Get off the A14 a bit early and got stuck between the Stukelys. Otherwise, okay.
He's always getting stuck between the Stukelys. Says it's inevitable at his time of life. Won't go to the doctor. Have you redecorated?
Yes, do you like it?
No, not much.
Guess what, darling? Jill and Harry have brought us a turkey.
Great. We have got one, you know.
Well, we thought you might, but you can never have enough turkey at Christmas, can you?
Absolutely. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Anyway, take the weight off your feet. Anyone fancy a drink, Jill?
Please, Frank, dry sherry and Diet Coke.
What, together? Why am I even asking? Coming up. Harry, Newcastle Brown, okay?
Fine, thanks.
Helen?
Not just yet, darling. I've got a coffee in the kitchen.
Strange. Can anyone hear a humming noise?
No, dear. Perhaps you left your hammer switched on.
No, Caroline and that husband of hers off to Austria. Mountain climbing or yodeling?
No, Jill, they're going to Australia for a month.
I'm sure I can hear a humming noise.
Are you sure Caroline should be running up the Matterhorn in her condition? Isn't she up the duff?
Oh, Jill, please, she's not up the duff. She's just over 2 months pregnant. And they're going to Australia, not Austria. Also, as I'm sure you know, the Matterhorn is in Switzerland. But apart from that, you're pretty much on the nose.
Did you know Australia has the greatest number of deadly species of spiders and snakes than any other country on Earth?
Oh, shut up, darling.
I'm trying to figure out how to distill essence of Randy spider pheromone so I can lob a few drops into Adrian's aftershave.
Don't much like your son-in-law then, Frank.
He's a complete plonker.
He's not. Well, perhaps he has the aura of plonker about him. But his heart's in the right place and he looks after Caroline.
Caroline looks after him.
What's the matter with him?
He takes saving the planet very seriously.
Well, that's all right. I'm all for that. I always recycle my empty beer bottles.
Almost as quickly as you recycle the beer.
Well, apparently they'll be here any minute, and I've been instructed not to speak until after they leave.
Just nothing contentious, dear.
But that's all I do. I'm good at it.
That'll be then. Now, Frank, best behaviour, or else.
I do try, I really do. But he does talk such complete and utter bollocks.
Hello, Daddy Kim.
Hello, sweetheart.
Auntie Jill. Uncle Harry. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, darling. Congratulations on becoming impregnated. Has he gone to Austria without you?
Preciously, no, we're off to Australia, not Austria. He'll be down shortly. He's had to make a quick dash to the bathroom.
Recycling something, is it?
Not in the way you think. Adrian was carrying the presents from the car that were wrapped in homemade, hand-painted, organic recycled paper. Well, unfortunately, the homemade ink came off the organic paper all over his hands and made a great big splodge down the front of his trousers.
It started.
Daddy, behave. You know you frighten him.
Surely not. I've been emasculated.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Dad.
Hello!
Hello, Adrian. Caroline tells us you had a little, accident.
You ought to be more careful, you know. You can't do that halfway up a mountain. You'll get frostbite.
Take no notice, Adrian. She's getting very comfortably on her own little planet.
Adrian, this is Auntie Jill and this is Uncle Harry. Come and say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Adrian.
Well, you don't look much, but they got Caroline knocked up, so there must be something not immediately apparent to the naked eye.
Would you like a beer, Adrian?
That would be nice. Is it organic?
No, but it tastes as though Harry's recycled it.
Oh, sounds okay.
Guess what? Caroline and Adrian brought us a turkey.
What are we, the home-grown poultry?
Thought you might like it. It's fresh, free range, GM-free, and organic.
It's a lovely thought. We got them one as well.
So now you've got two.
No, 4.
Damn, what are you going to do with 4 turkeys, Frank?
Breed them organically, I expect.
So what's for lunch today then, Mummy?
Well, surprisingly enough, turkey.
Ah, good.
So, if you're not eating our organic turkey today, which you're presumably not, since you didn't know we were going to bring you one, besides which there is now insufficient time for it to cook, given the relative lateness of our arrival, where did you get today's turkey from, if you don't mind me asking?
Asda.
Free range.
Oh, good. I couldn't eat anything that's been kept in captivity or treated cruelly.
Oh, well, you're all right then, you see. We checked, and this cute little bird spent its entire life skipping gaily around a field, eating nothing but discarded yogurt cartons and recycled mattresses. It lived a carefree existence right up until the moment old Farmer Giles came up behind the poor old unsuspecting sod with a machete in his
Daddy.
Going to check the food. Back in a minute.
So, what have you two been up to lately, then?
I should have thought that was obvious.
Apart from that, what do you do for a living, Adrian? This is good.
Oh, I'm the smoking cessation officer for the local borough council.
Told you.
The what?
The smoking cessation officer. I help encourage people to stop smoking.
Are you a part of them?
No, I encourage people to reduce their dependence on tobacco and cannabis and other addictive or mind-altering drugs.
Strange, because whenever you're around, I seriously consider taking them up.
Daddy, not to be a fun, you know.
I wasn't trying to be.
But there are worse ways to earn a living. Have you got any samples?
Samples? I don't understand.
What do you know? Don't you have a SIND-in? Somewhere where your spaced-out, drug-crazed co-workers can anonymously dump their stash?
No, we don't have anything like that. I could suggest it to the council, though. I'm sure it would be well received.
It's a stupid idea. Bound to be adopted.
How many people have you helped, Adrian?
I've run 24 one-day seminars attended by a total of 237 persons with an average age of 47.3 years.
And?
And what?
And how many people have stopped smoking as a result of your 24 one-day seminars and stayed stopped?
Well, of course, we don't measure our success, or indeed presumed failure, on anything as crude as numbers.
What Adrian means is that local ratepayers paying $25,000 a year, plus private medical insurance and a Vauxhall Corsa, in order that he can produce a mass of completely meaningless statistics and do absolutely nothing of any benefit for the silly sods who fund it. On top of which, he can be absolutely certain that no matter how much time he spends doing it, he will never be sacked, as total incompetence is a fundamental part of his job description.
Daddy, you apologise right now. That's nonsense and uncalled for.
Sorry.
Anyway, Adrian's the outdoor type. He rides his stinky little bike everywhere.
Keen cyclist, are you, Adrian?
Oh, yes, indeed. I think it's important to conserve the Earth's natural resources for our children, and our children's children, and our children's children's children.
Stop there. You've got the general idea.
And of course, it helps me stay fit and healthy.
Yes, he's got a lovely body.
Down, girl, you've done enough damage already.
Look at him, lovely and slim, and he's got a wonderful appetite.
Way too much information, sweetie. What do you give him?
Auntie, you know perfectly well I meant for food.
Precisely. Since he insists on riding his bike everywhere, he has to eat like a bloody horse just to stay skinny. It's completely counterproductive.
Why?
Because he's so keen to save the planet and not drive his Corsa anywhere, people like Eddie Stobart have to run whole fleets of diesel-guzzling, 40-foot articulated trucks driven all over the country 24 hours a day by 20-stone, lardy-arse, methane-bloated truckers. All this just to provide him and people like him with enough energy to ride their bloody bikes.
I think I'll just go and help in the kitchen.
Daddy, will you stop it? You're being beastly again.
Just doing my duty as a concerned ratepayer and amateur environmentalist.
Oh, I'm going to help Mummy in the kitchen.
That was a bit harsh, old boy.
Yes, it was, but hell was it fun. I'm really enjoying myself.
Oh, where are Caroline and Adrian?
Oh, they went into the kitchen to help you.
Oh, I wasn't there. I've been upstairs putting some towels out.
Oh, you missed a great fight. Your rude and intolerant husband was tearing strips off your useless and nerdy son-in-law.
Oh, thank you, Jill. Nice to hear your opinion of my family. Just let Caroline around a bit and you've got the full set. Frank, how could you?
Actually, it's rather easy when you've had a bit of practice.
Well, stop practising on your son-in-law. Now shut up. They're going away in 5 hours.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'll finish up, don't worry.
Listen to him. I won't have a roof over my head in 5 hours.
Well, that's okay. We'll sleep in the tent.
What tent?
The one they'll be using when they're abseiling over the Pyrenees.
Has she completely lost touch with reality?
Not completely. She still has her moments.
You two do realise I'm still in the room, don't you?
Hello, Mum.
Hello, Adrian. No need to introduce yourself. We've met already.
Yes, I know, it's just...
Oh, come on, spit it out. If you've broken something, don't worry. I won't let Frank put you in an arm lock or take your dinner money.
Well, you did say that the turkey we were having today was free range.
Yes. What of it?
Well, unfortunately, I was in the kitchen just now and accidentally knocked over the bin. And as I was clearing up, I couldn't help notice that the turkey wrapper was in there. Now, I don't like to say anything, but whoever sold you that turkey didn't sell you a free range one. It was a standard frozen one from Asda. I've been on a course, so I know about these things. I'm a bit of an expert.
You're a bit of a clock.
I'm sorry, Adrian. It's my fault. I left it too late and I couldn't get a fresh organic turkey anywhere. So I had to get a normal one. It was all I could get. I did pick the happiest looking one, though.
What on earth are you talking about? How can a frozen turkey look happy? They spent their entire lives cooped up in a shed with 50 million other birds, pecking each other's feathers out too-headed to stand, they get their necks wrung, their feathers plucked, and their giblets shoved up their arse. Can you imagine a work cut out trying to follow with a smile on its face?
Well argued, Frank. I'm sure Adrian will be swayed by the subtleties of your logic.
Well, work out the subtleties of this. I'm going for it.
Come along, Adrian. Let's go and have a look at this turkey and see if we can make it a bit more eco-friendly for you, shall we?
Oh, thank you. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but I'm willing to compromise.
Do you know, I think Frank's right. I can hear a faint buzzing sound as well. It seems to be heading in your direction. It sounds like... Cone, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, it's Christmas. This is boring. I decided to take some advice from Cosmopolitan and spice things up a little.
I take it we're talking about that magazine of yours. What advice?
I sent away for a present for myself. It's called Flutterby. It's great. You just stick it in your knickers and away you go. Here's the result. I feel a bit like the turkey. I've been cooking on low since first thing this morning.
That explains the stupid grin you've had on your face all the way here. You're mad? What would Frank and Helen think? Give me that.
I don't care what they think. Give it back.
What's on your Nelly? What are these buttons for?
Low, medium and high. Don't touch them whatever you do. Give it back.
Hello.
Hello?
Is that what I think it is?
I've never seen it before. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Well, I think I do. Helen was just saying she's been looking for it everywhere. It's the remote control for the microwave. I'll take it out to her. She will be pleased. Helen, it was in here. You did say you wanted on high. No, it wasn't for the microwave. That is for television. The CD player.
Hold on a minute, I just remembered it's a brand new remote car. I'd forgotten I'd had it. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd better go and explain to Helen.
Okay, you win. It's coming off for now. Be back in a minute.
Okay.
I just popped to the loo.
Is there anything I can get you?
No, fine, thanks.
I'll be right back. Caroline and Adrian are just finishing the brandy bottle.
Better now?
Of course. All warmed up and raring to go, my little chuckle bum. That is a marvellous invention.
What have you done with it?
Well, Frank was still in the bathroom, so I had to hide it in the garden. I'll get it later, not leaving that little baby behind.
Sorry to leave you alone. Would you like to freshen up? You must have got up very early this morning.
Well, thank you. Yes, I do feel a bit jaded. I take it we're in the guest room.
Of course, you know where it is. Do you want to have your bags?
No, well, thanks.
Well, make sure you call me if there's going to be any more fighting. I haven't had this much fun since Harry fell in the cesspit. Come on, darling, let's go check out the bed.
Do you know, I've got a bit of a headache coming on.
You're for that, big boy.
Oh, I'm sorry about Frank. He's worried about Caroline travelling all the way to Australia. I've been pregnant and everything. He's still very protective of her, you know. He hasn't quite let go.
I fully appreciate that I am not his ideal son-in-law, but Lily and I are very happy, and we've been married for nearly 3 years now.
I know. Just don't let him hear you call her Lily, that's all.
It's only my pet name for her. He's never liked me since the day we were married.
Well, it was a bit dramatic, what with the fire brigade and the ambulances.
I was nervous. Somebody offered me a cigarette, and I didn't like to say no. It's made me cough. This is not something I would admit to in my professional capacity, you understand.
Well, it wasn't your fault. Well, not entirely. He was the one who sat in the wet paint, and I was the one who cleaned it off with petrol.
Yes, but I was the one who blew him up. There was the most almighty bang, and his trousers exploded.
Memories. Well, there was no real harm done. There wasn't much to damage in the first place, and he hardly talks about it anymore. Now you just relax and enjoy the rest of your day. Perhaps you and Caroline would like to help me lay the table. You can make a start by getting some glasses out of the cabinet.
Oh, thank you. Caroline never lets me near anything breakable. She says it ends up getting broken. She's only joking, of course.
Do you need a hand?
No, everything's under control. I'm just popping out to the kitchen. You two behave yourselves or I'll stop your pocket money.
Please tell me you're not sitting near the door of the plane.
I have no idea. Can I ask you something?
Permission to divorce, Caroline?
No, no, of course not. I may be wrong, but I get the impression that you would have preferred Caroline had married somebody else.
What on earth gave you that idea?
Well, it's either that or you have a very bad anger management problem.
I have a what?
An anger management problem. I may be able to help. I've been on a course.
Oh, go on a lot of courses, do you?
Yes, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. My supervisor puts me down for every course she can. They are really helping me develop as a person.
These, courses, Adrian, they wouldn't be held out of the office by any chance, would they?
Yes, as a matter of fact, they all are. Funnily enough, those that aren't held in Scotland are normally held in Cornwall. I'm out of the office a lot. It's worth it though. My supervisor says that since I've been going on these courses, office morale and efficiency have improved immeasurably. Council even contributed towards our trip to Australia.
What?
Yes, yes, originally we were only going for a fortnight. But when my supervisor heard, she said I should stay as long as I wanted to see how Australia copes with smoking in the working environment. It's what we call a win-win situation.
And they do this sort of thing a lot, do they?
No, it's never happened before. I take it to be a mark of the confidence and appreciation that the council has for me and for the valuable contribution I am making. I thought it was a nice gesture, and it means that Lydia, Caroline and I can spend some quality time together before embarking on the rich journey of parenthood.
Well, in my experience, embarking on the journey of parenthood will make you anything but rich.
Adrian, Caroline asked if you could help her. She's in the hall trying to get something out of one of your cases.
Oh, right, okay. Well, perhaps we can carry on with our chat later, eh, Dad?
Can't wait. See?
Why have we started conversing in Spanish?
It's not just me. I've got corroborative evidence.
Okay, Sherlock, perhaps you'd better bring poor old Watson here up to speed.
I've just been speaking to that plonker of a son-in-law of yours.
Oh, you divorcing me? Or disinheriting your daughter?
Both if you don't shut up. Listen, he's just told me that the council is paying him to go to Australia. They can't sack him because that wouldn't fit in with their keep a plonker in a job programme. So, to get him out of the office, they enrol him on every single course that they can. And now they've got an ideal opportunity to send him as far away from the civilised world as possible.
I think you'll find Australia does qualify as a civilised nation. Of course, you might like to debate the point with Boomerang Bruce next door, but I think you'd come off worse whichever way it turned out.
If Bruce is an average example, the Australian nation can hardly be called civilised. He's nothing but a foul-mouthed, beer-swilling, bigoted, muscle-bound, anti-social layabout who enjoys nothing more than beating the crap out of anyone who happens to disagree with him.
So why don't you tell him that, in your refreshingly forthright way, of course?
Because he's a foul-mouthed, beer-swilling, bigoted, muscle-bound, anti-social layabout who enjoys nothing more than beating the crap out of anyone who happens to disagree with him.
It's hard to fault your logic. It must be so lonely to be the last perfect human being left in the world.
Adrian spends his entire working life attending courses all over the country. This explains those newspaper headlines where they expose foreign junkets enjoyed by council officials at ratepayers' expense. If you ask me, all they're really doing is getting rid of the office idiot for a few weeks.
Well, that's very cynical.
And probably accurate. I'm surprised Caroline is pregnant. He's never at home.
Well, you've heard of mail-order brides. Perhaps it was a mail-order pregnancy.
Don't be silly. They can send him up to Scotland.
Ah, now there is a race of uncivilised savages. You ask Bruce.
No thanks, don't think I will.
Look, whoever Caroline married would never have come up to your standards as a husband for her. No one could have. The poor boy's got an impossible task. It's about time you face the fact that she is married to Adrian, and she's very happy, despite what you or the council think of him. And what's more, they're having our grandchild.
Oh, I know. My genes mixed up with his. Wouldn't bear thinking about.
Yes, poor kid. Not much of a start in life, is it?
Hey, my genes did a pretty good job when it came to producing my daughter.
Your daughter? Whatever happened to Sherry?
It's a proven medical fact that it's the male who determines sex.
My, you have got a good memory. Let's see if you can remember how to lay the table. I'll give Jill and Harry a call. They've been upstairs quite a while.
Good idea. Good idea. Harry's probably running out of headaches.
You are a very bad man, but I intend hanging on to you in order to make you see the error of your ways.
I accept the punishment, but I may appeal against the life sentence.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello, sweetheart. Everything okay?
Well, apart from you yelling at Adrian every time you set eyes on him and completely ruining Christmas Eve, everything's top hole, thanks.
I know that's not fair. I don't always yell. Sometimes I'm merely rude in a quiet and dignified manner.
What have you got against Adrian? He's a jolly good sort. Kind, gentle and thoughtful. Would you rather I married some Neanderthal brutes?
No, of course not.
So why do you insist on constantly making fun of him?
Well, leaving aside the fact that he tried to blow me up, shortly before I was due to give away the hand of my only beloved daughter, it's probably because he's a left-wing, nut-nibbling, lentil-licking, sandal-wearing, tree-hugging, cat-handing twit! Everything about him invites me to take the... You know, he's a walking disaster area. How many times has he crashed the car now?
Well, he hardly does that anymore.
I know just how you feel, sweetie.
What do you mean, Auntie?
Never mind, you're still far too young.
Who was it that said youth is wasted on the young?
An old person. Probably him.
All right, I'll pour myself a beer, Frank.
Help yourself.
How's your headache, sweetie? You sure you should still be drinking beer with such a violent migraine?
It feels a lot better when I'm standing up.
Your memory's a lot better than mine.
Well, that's the veg on. Nothing more to do for a few minutes. Perhaps you pour me that drink now, dear.
Gin tea?
Yeah, lovely. Not too strong, please.
Anyone else while I'm here? Yeah, Dad. Don't say I never help with the preparations.
Oh, gosh, darling, you're so caring and thoughtful. Every waking moment with you makes me feel as though I won the lottery.
Just spreading some light and happiness around my little bowl of rosebuds.
Did we mention we won the lottery last week?
Really? Great. How much?
£10. We bought your turkey with it.
Strictly speaking, of course, it didn't win £10.
Oh, you were there then, were you? And can vouch for this?
No, since you had to buy a ticket, you only actually won £9.
Didn't. Do you want your turkey back?
No, it's your problem now, old boy.
Do you know I've never won anything on the lottery?
That's because you insist the lottery is a manifestation of an inherently corrupt capitalist system and refuse to buy a ticket.
Yes, that would have something to do with it.
You know, I don't remember winning anything since I married Frank.
You won my heart, my sweet.
I met you on a blind date. I don't think the outcome of that counts as winning anything. I've done the lottery, and before that, football pools, entered spot the ball contests, raffles, bingos, sweepstakes, and the off-flutter on the Grand National. Lost count of the number of competitions I've entered. Not a sausage. And we play cards for pennies, I always lose.
Unlucky at cards and lucky in love.
Not shut up, you idiot. I must admit, though, it's a bit spooky not to win anything in 30-odd years.
Well, your odds would improve the more you gamble. Take it up as a hobby.
Full of good advice today, aren't you, sweetie? You got shares in Gamblers Anonymous? When was the last time you bet on anything, Helen?
Oh, I can't remember. Only do it once in a blue moon. I mean, I'm 50. Well, I'm in my 50s. And you would have thought by now, statistically, I'd hit a win on Street. But no, just sniff.
Some people are born unlucky.
And others having married their daughter.
Hello, cricket, Adrian.
I'm not a great sports fan, no.
Oh, there's a shock. So, what does get you excited, Adrian? Tadpole wrestling?
Yes, Adrian. Tell me what gets you excited. I'll see if it works somehow.
Just be grateful for small mercies. Do you have any hobbies, Adrian? You and Caroline must enjoy doing things together. How did you meet?
Harry.
It's all right, I don't mind. Caroline and I fell for each other. Well, I fell for her, actually. Right on top of her, to be precise.
I don't think I want to hear this.
Oh, it wasn't your fault, AD.
Oh, first Lenny and now AD. Don't think I didn't notice earlier on. Makes you both sound like a pair of old English sheepdogs.
Oh, come on, Daddy. Didn't you have a special name for Mummy when you first got married?
No, I didn't. She had several for me, though.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So how did you meet one another?
I was on a protest march. Ban the bomb. Or was it ban fox hunting?
Wasn't it Ban the Whale? Oh, sorry, Save the Whale.
You know, I don't know why you protesters don't save yourselves a lot of time and effort and combine all your small marches into a giant march. Gay foxes against the bomb.
Will you please stop? It's Christmas Eve. Give it a break.
Adrian has to think these things are important, and so do I now.
Anyway, we were marching up Orpington High Street with our ban the bomb banners. Unfortunately, at the same time, the Students Against Violence were marching down Orpington High Street. There was a bit of confusion.
Sounds like an interesting mix. What did you do? Exchange recipes for tofu and crushed lentil soup?
No, actually, the Students Against Violence started beating up the ban the bomb marchers. To retaliate by throwing smoke grenades. It turned into a full-scale riot.
Meanwhile, I was quietly minding my own business, shopping for new undies in the centre. Suddenly, Adrian flew horizontally through the door at head height, cannoned into me off the Gossard stand, and we both landed in a stonking great heap, up to our waists in cut-price knickers.
Weren't you hurt, Adrian? The plate glass could have killed you.
No, the doors opened automatically.
The poor lad looked so shocked and vulnerable, I brought him a coffee. Rest is history.
I think that's a lovely story. While we're on the subject, Jim, you never did tell me how you met Harry. Was it as eventful as these two?
No, very boring. That's not burning.
Oh, I better check the sprouts.
Does she need a hand?
Never has yet. She does her stuff and I do mine. Never the twain shall meet and all that. I don't like to get too involved.
What stuff, Daddy?
Pardon?
What stuff do you do? Mummy does the cooking, the cleaning, the shopping, the gardening, and she works as a nurse at the local health centre.
Only part-time.
4.5 days a week. It's hardly part-time. What do you do?
I go to work, or rather I did, before I sold the business and accepted a well-earned retirement package. Now I do odd jobs around the house.
Did I hear you right? Odd jobs? You took some off just now, hanging a picture. Up to a point, I have to agree. When you do a job, it does look odd when you finish.
I clean the car.
You take it through the car wash once a fortnight.
Play golf, Frank.
Golf. Yes, I played golf.
That's hardly work, Daddy.
It is the way he plays. Hard work. He sometimes has to recuperate in the 19th hole for hours afterwards, don't you, Frank?
Look, I'm retired. I'm supposed to be relaxing, putting my feet up and enjoying the well-earned benefits of a lifetime of arduous toil.
Weren't you an estate agent, Frank?
Yes, I was. What of it?
Got to future rests, no further questions.
Hello. Hello, Bruce. Come in.
G'day, mate!
Bruce. You're out of the pub early.
Don't be soft, mate, they're not open yet.
This is Bruce from next door. He's from Australia. Bruce, this is Jill, and this is Harry. You've met Caroline, and of course, you remember her husband, Adrian.
Oh, how could I forget? I saw your car outside, that's why I came over. Oh, Caroline, you look beautiful. Oh, nice to meet you, Harry. And you, Sheila.
Jill.
Yeah, right, whatever.
I know this will qualify as the most stupid question to ever pass my lips, but would you like a beer, Bruce?
Well, strictly speaking, I'm not here on a social call, but just to be friendly, I'll share a tinny with you, mate. Have you got a proper drink, not that watered-down dingo's piddle you promised called beer?
Lager?
Yeah, a cold one.
I'll see what I can find.
So, Bruce, what are you doing in our neck of the woods?
Oh, funny you should ask that. Started out as a holiday, then I ran into this wazzer here.
There you go, Bruce.
Oh, cheers, mate. First one of the day? Well, almost.
I pride myself on first impressions, Bruce. You're a complete slob, aren't you?
Now, look here, Sheila.
Jill.
Whatever. I don't normally take insults from some tight-ass pommy Sheila, but Harry here seems like a good bloke, so I'm prepared to overlook it this time. Besides, I'm here because I need a favour.
What favour is it you need, Bruce? I somehow feel responsible for you since you'd have gone home 18 months ago if it wasn't for us. Or more accurately, him.
How do you mean, Frank?
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll explain some other time.
Look, I've got to hurry because they'll be open soon, and Adrian flies off to Oz in a few hours.
What business is that of yours, Bruce?
Well, as you know, thanks to your husband here, I've had a free holiday the last 18 months now, even though the tucker's terrible, the weather's cold and the beer's as warm as an average in his armpit. I like it here. You've all made me feel very welcome. Well, Helen has always been nice, most of the time.
But what's all this got to do with Adrian?
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, I want Adrian to smack me around the back of the head with a cricket bat.
I really don't think I could do that.
Why not? You've done it before.
Last time was an accident.
Isn't it always?
Listen, mate, last time you hit me, the compensation was enough to keep me a warm pommy beer for the next 18 months. Now, I'm getting a bit short on spending money, so what do you say we do it again, eh, me old mate?
Bruce, leave him alone. Adrian would never deliberately hurt anyone, would you, Adrian?
No, of course not.
Look, I'm prepared to be reasonable about this. I only want a little tap, not too hard. I'll even provide my own bat. No worries.
I don't like to interfere,
Then don't, Harry. Shut up. This looks like it could be fun.
Bruce, what if he hits you too hard? You could be seriously hurt.
Hurt? Why him? I can't think of any pommy that could overcome Brucey here, let alone this big girl's parents' rules.
I do like to inject a note of sanity into this discussion, but can somebody please tell me what's going on?
All right, we'll explain. It's really quite simple.
Is anything simple where he's concerned?
It was the summer before last. It was a jolly hot afternoon.
I'd only been here a few days, but met a few of my close mates.
14 close mates.
Whatever. We just got back after celebrating our usual win in the third test, and after imbibing a few jars of the amber nectar, we were quite relaxed.
Relaxed as newts. The whole street came outside to see what the commotion was.
Adrian and I were staying for a few days, so we went out as well.
Bruce and his friends challenged us to a game of cricket on the green. Bruce was wicket-keeper.
Yeah, I'm pretty handy. Not much gets past me.
Anyway, there was 15 of them and only 7 of us. Of course, we asked if 4 would like to swap sides to make the numbers even, but no one would condescend to play for England. So, despite the fact that each of the 15 looked as though they'd been thrown out of the All Blacks for being too large and overly aggressive, we decided to play anyway. Adrian was in first.
Excuse me, mate. The All Blacks are not Australian.
I know, just illustrating the point.
Okay.
Anyway, the first ball came in, Adrian took a wild swing, slipped, spun round, and hit old Bruce here on the side of the head with enough force to fell a herd of rhino. Bruce was taken to hospital where he was diagnosed with concussion. concussion. And about half an hour later, some ambulance-chasing paralegals saw him, got on his case, and Adrian, who was insured by the council at ratepayers' expense, was promptly sued.
Yeah, it's great, wasn't it? I got 50,000 snackaroos. That fair did for me.
50 grand?
Well, I didn't see all of it. I had my legal expenses. They were 10,000.
Still leaves you with 40. What happened to it?
Oh, well, you know, living expenses and stuff.
Let me put it this way. Our local pub has been completely renovated over the last year. And the landlord has been on 2 world cruises. See if you can make a connection.
Don't you Rings and Poms ever stop complaining? You think it'd be happy if someone went out of their way to support the local economy?
The local economy, yes. Except the local doesn't really cut the mustard, does it? Still, I suppose that's all we can expect from an Antipodean.
Well, don't look at me, mate. I come from Australia. Anyhow, mate, are you going to help me out or what?
Well, I really don't think...
Well, I really think you should. I wouldn't want to make life difficult for you.
Oh, look here, young man.
Pipe down, Sheila.
Jill.
Whatever.
What time is it?
Oh, Struth, they're open. I've got to go. I'll be back later to sort this out before you catch a flight. See ya.
What a horrible little man. He's quite as bad as I remember him. I wonder how he knew we were going away.
Well, I may have mentioned it in passing.
This is your fault.
Me? How could it possibly be my fault? But I met the guy until a few minutes ago.
You're a solicitor. You encourage the compensation culture that supports jobs like you.
Hardly. I do house conveyancing and the occasional divorce. I never sued anyone for compensation. I did sue a cow once, though.
A cow? What happened?
The cow won.
I wonder what he meant by making things difficult for me. Do you think he would turn violent?
I'm not that lucky.
Of course not, Adrian. He's a big softy at heart, I think.
Maybe we should call the police.
Oh, don't be silly. Once he gets down the pub, he'll be stuck there for days. We probably won't hear from him till after New Year.
Well, I'm interested. How does he think he can make life difficult for Adrian? Particularly as he knows he's going away this afternoon.
That's a good question. It doesn't make sense unless, of course, Adrian was right and he is going to resort to violence.
Oh, do you think he might?
What would be the point? He's not going to get any compensation if he bashes Adrian. And I'm not sure that he would if Adrian bashes him. The insurance company might conceivably think it's a little bit fishy if our mild-mannered smoking cessation officer suddenly starts going loopy with a cricket bat and smacks the same guy they paid out to 18 months ago. Don't let's worry about it now. Dinner's nearly ready. Come along, Adrian. You can help me lift the turkey out of the oven.
Are you sure?
Darling, I might find a very novel place to put the stuffing.
Perhaps organic.
You know, there are times when I'd like to take his organic sprouts and stuff them one by one right up his free-range...
Oh, sorry, Helen.
What on earth was that?
Ah, Adrian! Oh, Adrian!
Well, it sounds to me as though our battery-farmed, force-fed, drug-riddled, non-organic, genetically modified turkey has made a final bid for freedom. Cheers!
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Yes, yes, and what's more, she didn't panic when her son-in-law started throwing the main course around the kitchen like a demented Albanian shoplifter.
It wasn't entirely my fault. I didn't know the tin would be so hot. Caroline never let me near the kitchen. I was obviously unaware of these things until earlier.
You didn't think that a tin that had been in the oven for the past 10 hours might be too hot to pick up with your bare hands?
Well, no, Helen has mentioned that she always cooks the turkey for a long time on a low heat to keep it moist. So I thought it would be pleasantly warm.
So, you think cooking poultry in a lukewarm oven is acceptable, do you? Have you ever heard of salmonella? Perhaps you could go on a course. I understand there's one in Outer Mongolia. I'll arrange it if you like.
Come on, Frank. There's no harm done. The turkey didn't even fall out of the pan.
Fallout? I'm surprised it didn't leap out. It must have been pretty crowded in there, but without a one-man turkey liberation front trying to dive in to save it.
The floor was slippery where the batter splashed.
All over now. Let's have another beer. Besides, it's not as though you're short of turkeys, Frank. Still got 3 in reserve.
Yeah, thanks to you two, I'll be eating turkey and chestnut stuffing for the next 3 months.
Did somebody say stuffing?
All cleared up.
Yes. Thank you for your help, gentlemen. Always there when needed. Nice to see you've taken the ethos of being new men completely to heart.
We thought it best to stay out of the way, as you've now learned to your cost. Us men are a bit of a liability in the kitchen.
Is he sticking up for me?
I wouldn't count on it.
Oh, before I forget, we must thank you for our presents, Mummy and Daddy, and of course for yours, Auntie and Uncle.
Yes, his and her ski hats. Thank you, Jill. And Harry.
Well, we don't want you to get your ears frostbitten now, do we?
Jill, they're going to Australia. Oh, never mind. It was a lovely thought.
Well, we do like to get things that will be appreciated. Not like you, eh, Frank?
Yes, Daddy, I do hope you get Mummy something nice this year.
Present giving fell a bit flat last year then, Frank.
And the year before. In fact, you've never quite got the hang of present buying, have you, dear?
What did he get you then? Something soft, sexy and see-through?
As if you'd know anything about that, sweetie.
It was something useful.
Well, that seems thoughtful enough, I suppose. What was it?
An ironing board.
Ouch.
You needed a new ironing board.
Only he bought me for my birthday. The year before, he bought me a food mixer.
Not a mixer, a processor. They're very expensive, you know.
Not when you buy it using the loyalty points from your credit card. In the past few years, he's bought me a kettle, a toaster, a bedside lamp, a set of saucepans, and some kitchen knives.
I know precisely what I'd have done with the knives.
That is what's called cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Right sentiment, wrong body part.
Daddy, you are so incredibly thoughtless. Adrian would never dream of buying me something like that.
I instinctively know what Caroline wants, because she always tells me.
I don't know such thing. I merely write it down as a memoir to stop you forgetting.
In all the years we've been married, you've never even bought me a bottle of perfume.
What for? You smell all right to me.
Or lingerie, or jewellery, or even clothes.
You've got stuff like that. You've got bracelets and blouses, necklaces and knickers, and a wardrobe crammed full of dresses, coats, hats, scarves. Wait, what do you need more for? You don't exactly walk around naked for crying out loud.
No, I stopped doing that when you started playing golf. One or the other, really.
Daddy, you are so insensitive. You want to buy Mummy something nice.
Look, this is bloody ridiculous. You buy me power tools and stuff for the garden. Can you explain how I'm supposed to be grateful for a workbench and how that's any different to an ironing board? You buy me chisels and I'm grateful. But buying you a set of kitchen knives is considered thoughtless, condescending and demeaning. The weaker sex? You must be joking. You'll have got it made.
Finished?
Yes. No. I bought you a pair of slippers once. There.
That was 15 years ago, and I had to take them back because they were men's and completely
It's the thought that counts.
Yes, it is, and you don't.
You're accusing me of being thoughtless.
Well, let's pluck something out of the air at random, shall we? How often do you put the loose seat down for me when you finish?
A lot more often than you put it up. it happens, a weekend at a health spa. She will spend 2 days and 2 nights in a luxury resort being pampered beyond her wildest dreams.
Well done, Daddy. Really?
Yes, really. But not a word to your mother. This is probably my last chance to reapply for admission to the human race, as far as she's concerned. So I want it to be a complete surprise for her when she opens her card in the morning. Now, change the subject, she's coming back.
Guess what?
Oh, that's a tricky one. No. General consensus is that we need more clues.
That was the supermarket. Guess what?
Oh, they've run out of turkeys and want to engage us as a new supplier.
Silly.
Oh, come on, Helen, the suspense is killing us. Well, in truth, we couldn't care less, but you know what I mean.
This is so exciting. When I was doing my shopping a couple of days ago, I was accosted by this nice young man.
Something to get on with that.
The supermarket were holding a Christmas competition, and the young man asked me to guess the weight of a turkey.
That's a bit unfair. What with your recent experience of turkey? You have a distinct advantage.
Well, not really. That was before we started collecting them. Anyway, I guessed, and guess what?
Well, I'm guessing they didn't call to tell you that you lost.
I won! I actually won! Not only did I win, but I guessed exactly right to the gram. I've won something! This is wonderful! This has never happened to me before! I'm so excited!
We'd never have guessed.
Sorry, Adrian, what do you mean?
I mean, what is it that you've won? What is your prize?
The turkey!
Bloody hell! Can't you swap it for something else?
No, I can't. It's not transferable. Anyway, I don't care. I won something. Pour me a drink, Frank. I feel like celebrating.
Now you see why I only buy her domestic appliances. If she gets this excited over a bloody turkey, just think what she'd be like if I bought her a bottle of Canal 5.
You mean Chanel number 5?
I know what I mean. Oh, who could that be now?
Bruce, I expect. I'll get it.
It's a lovely house. Hey, Bruce.
Yes, Bruce, I can see you.
Do you mind if I come in, lovely Helen? I just want to finish my little talk with Adrian.
Do you think I should pop out the back? I don't want to cause a scene.
Only if you promise not to make any trouble, Bruce.
Don't take any notice of him. He's just a big bully. You stand your ground and fight your corner.
I love your water. No worries, lovely Helen. Good day again, everyone. Sorry to disturb you again, but I just want to sort out my little difficulty with Adrian before he flies off to the wonderful land down under. The most beautiful country in the world. Oh, God save the Queen.
Hello again, Bruce. How was your lunch? Nice and liquid?
Not as much as I'd have liked, mate, but I filled up on a pommy burger.
Do you eat this healthily all the time, Bruce? Are you making a special effort for the festive season?
Now look here, Sheila.
Yeah.
Whatever. A growing lad like me needs to keep his energy levels up. I'm a well-trained physical specimen. Well, thank you, Sheila.
No worries, Bruce.
You've been in a fight, mate. That looks like a bit of a bump you've got there.
Well, no,
I think I should warn you, Bruce. You're looking at a man who's just gone 5 rounds with a 26-pound turkey. You want to make him angry.
No, you wouldn't. He's the new featherweight champion.
Yeah, I should have guessed. Sorry, mate, Bob, are you giving any thought to my little proposition? I brought me Badderall.
Well, no, actually, I really don't.
Tell me, Bruce, exactly why should Adrian do as you ask? If you can't make him, and if you get violent, well, there are 3 of us, and it wouldn't take long for one of the girls to call the police. I understand they know where you live, so they could bring you here very quickly.
Oh, straight, mate. I wasn't planning on hurting him. Well, look at him. Now, that would be unsporting.
So, how do you plan to make him hit you then? And you'd have to make him hit you, you know. He hasn't got the balls to do it himself.
Daddy, you're supposed to be on our side.
I am. but only just.
Bruce, purely for the sake of argument, let's assume that Adrian puts his foot down and refuses to give you a reason to sue him again. What could you possibly do about it?
Are you sure you want to find out?
Well, speaking purely hypothetically, yes.
Well, you asked for it. You remember my mates from the cricket team the year before last?
You mean the walking beer barrels?
Yeah, right. Well, anyway, most of them have gone back to Oz now. And 3 of them are working in the Immigration Bureau. And they're very good mates of mine. One of them's a computer operator in the visa section, making cross-checks against known and suspected felons. You beginning to follow me train of thought here, Blue?
You wouldn't dare.
No, you're right. How could I? I could possibly do a thing like that. In your dreams, pussycat. So what's the point of having mates if you can't put in a few favours now and then?
But what could you do? I mean, they've done nothing wrong.
Ah, well, you know that, and I know that. But computers, they're pretty mindless, aren't they?
Particularly if they're Australian computers.
Nice one, Sheppard. So anyway, one call to my mate in the IT department in Melbourne, and he'll, well, let's say drug smugglers come in all shapes and sizes. As soon as you got off your plane, your visa were revoked quicker than you could say, spliff.
What's a split?
Don't worry, I'll explain later.
Be ashamed to miss out on the trip of a lifetime after such a long flight as well.
Bruce, let me get this straight. What you're suggesting is that if Adrian doesn't cooperate with your scam, you can have them stopped at customs immigration at Sydney and immediately thrown on the next plane home.
Oh, no, not immediately. No, you'd have to spend a few days in the local jail first. Well, you'd like it there, Adrian. You imagine can be very friendly to a nice-looking young man like me.
Yes, Australians have had a lot of experience of prisons. It's tradition over there to pass down from father to son.
Pipe down, Sheila. So anyway, that's about the size of it. What do you say, me old mate?
Impressed though I am with your cunning scheme, Bruce. What about the insurance company? They're not going to pay out twice to the same claimant who was hit in the same way by, incidentally, the same person they were insuring the last time.
Well, that's where you're wrong, Harry, the old sport. You see, one of the other close mates, well, he now works as an insurance assessor in the claims department. Oh, guess which insurance company he works for?
Don't tell me. The same one that Adrian's council uses.
Oh, spot on, mate. All we need is the proper paperwork from the hospital to make it legit, and my mate will do the rest.
If we suddenly become invaded by the Australian mafia and nobody told me,
Why would they tell you?
how else am I supposed to keep my finger on the pulse of the nation?
So there you have it. We put in a claim, my mate rubber stamps it, and the next thing you know, a big fat check's cluttering up my doormat. Is my plan foolproof, or is it foolproof?
It's bloody madness, that's what it is.
I think Adrian should decide, don't you?
Adrian, you couldn't possibly even consider doing it.
No, of course not. Only I'm not sure I fit in too well with the inherently violent structure of the Australian prison hierarchy.
You're joking. You'd fit in perfectly. There's nothing the hard-bitten inmates of an Australian federal prison would like more than to have a left-wing, eco-friendly pommy tell them to quit smoking and stop using drugs. They give lectures on the subject. Of course, you'd have to do it standing up because you wouldn't be able to sit down.
Daddy, that's disgusting.
Why?
Oh, don't worry, I'll try and avoid experimenting later.
Talking about doing it standing up. Back in a minute.
But anyway, if you want to make your flight, we've got things to attend to. You don't want to spend your entire flight worrying about your reception at the end of it.
Bruce, I think you should leave right now.
Well, quite frankly, I don't much care what you think. Nothing but an empty-headed bimbo anyway. Quite a cute empty-headed bimbo, but not much use for anything else. So just pipe down, I'll let the men do the talking, all right?
How dare you? That's my wife you're insulting.
Really? And what do you plan to do about it, you great possum's poodle?
I've had about as much as I can take. Trying to frighten me is one thing, but nobody else gets paralysed while I'm around.
Now calm down, mate. I never meant any harm. Now steady on, mate. You can do some real damage with that thing. You can hurt someone.
Good. I've got a lot of experience of causing accidents. You wanted me to hit you with this bat. Well, in all the excitement, I'm not sure I can remember how hard to swing it without actually killing you. So, tell me, Do you feel lucky? Do you?
Oh, you must be joking. Not enough room in the hall for Adrian to take a decent swing. If he's not bleeding on the carpet, I'll check him over.
Oh, sorry about that. Are you all right, Lily?
Of course I am, you nitwit, I'm fine. And thanks for sticking up for me. That was quite brave.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I did it any real damage.
What on earth is all that commotion?
Nothing really, just Adrian poleaxing Bruce with his cricket bat.
What? Oh, great. I suppose this means police, ambulance and fire brigade again. It's no wonder they're running short of resources when they need a whole division on constant standby, just in case you pop by for a visit. Anyway, you're probably in trouble yourself now, perpetrating a fraud. Must be at least 5 years. What do you think, Harry?
I think you should be pleased your son-in-law was prepared to stand up for Caroline.
What, him?
I don't think we'll be having any trouble from Bruce for a while.
Oh, you don't, do you? With his track record of litigation, not only will you be banged up for 5 years, you'll also be keeping him in beer for life. Whatever happened to your pacifist tendencies, Adrian? A bit selective in applying their morals, aren't you?
I don't think Adrian has anything to worry about, Frank. In the first place, we all heard him demand that Adrian hit him, so he obliged. Fair enough, I would think. Secondly, the insurance companies are very hot on prosecuting fraudsters. And thirdly, I don't think Bruce really wants to get into any trouble with the Australian Immigration Service. When he comes round, I'll have a quiet word. He got what was coming to him, that's all.
Well, he's still breathing and he's got a pulse. Don't worry, Adrian. I don't think you actually hit him, although you did make a dent in the wall with the cricket bat. I think he hit his own head on the banister when he ducked.
How big a dent?
Oh, quite a small one, but big enough for you to make it into a project lasting over 2 months. Costing you a couple of fingers into the bargain.
Why is it every time you come round here there's trouble? You're nothing but a walking disaster area. What my daughter sees in you is beyond me.
Sadly, leave Adrian alone.
It's all right, Lily. I think it's time you and I had a little chat.
Let me take that bat from you then, shall I, Gran? Come on, Helen, let's go check up on the wounded. Quite fancy a cup of tea after all this afternoon's excitement.
Why don't you go and give them a hand, Caroline, while your father and I had our chats?
Are you sure?
Yes, it's all right. It won't take long. Now, it's fairly obvious to me that you think I'm not fit to look after your daughter.
I'd have thought that was obvious to anybody who isn't comatose.
From the moment Caroline and I were married, you have taken every opportunity to criticise me.
It's very easy, and you deserve it.
No, you do it because you think I can't or won't fight back. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but you are a bully masquerading as a protective husband and father. This makes you feel good because when you are attacking me, you don't have to face up to some unpleasant truths.
I hope you know what you're talking about, because I certainly don't.
Sir, I know what I am. I'm painfully aware that there are many men who are more talented, better looking, and with better social skills. And I also believe that when Caroline agreed to be my wife, it was without doubt an entire lifetime's worth of luck rolled into one. No matter what you do or what you say, you will always be her father. Nothing on earth can ever take that away from you. So whilst you may well be able to take her for granted, I cannot do that. I have to work at being her husband every minute of every hour of every day. Please try to understand that Caroline, for the time being at least, chooses to be with me. But whenever you criticise me, you are really questioning Caroline's judgment in her choice of husband. All I ask is that you have the humility to acknowledge that she has made her choice, and she is happy with it. Thank you. Now, Linny and I must go and get ready. Our taxi will be here shortly.
Well, old boy, I think you should consider yourself truly told of. There's more to your son-in-law than you would imagine. He's a pillock.
Who do you think he is, talking down to me like that, arrogant little sod?
With respect, I'd think about what he had to say if I were you, old boy. I'm sure you don't want to alienate Caroline, but he seems to have articulated something that's been on his mind for quite a while.
He hasn't got a mind. Why, do you think I'm a bully masquerading as a protective father?
Not for me to say, old boy, but some men do have difficulty watching their offspring fly the nest, particularly their daughters.
I'm not rude. Well, not all the time. I'm never rude to you, am I?
No, not to me, old boy. You never have been.
I'll think about it. I still think he talks complete and utter bollocks, though.
Don't we all, old boy? Don't we all?
Fran, Caroline and Adrian are leaving. Adrian's putting the cases into the taxi. Come and say goodbye.
Bye, Uncle Harry. It was great to see you again. Have a good Christmas, and we'll call to say when we've arrived safely. Oh, and no doubt we'll see you shortly after we get back.
Bye, old girl. Have a safe trip and enjoy your holiday.
Thank you, we will. Bye, Auntie Jill.
Bye-bye, Caroline. Don't fall off any mountains now. They can be treacherous this time of year.
Yes, Auntie, and we'll try and stay well clear of those homicidal mountain goats too. Bye.
Mind where you tread, don't you over Bruce?
Did you say goodbye to Adrian?
Yes, just now when he was loading the cases. I thought we'd leave Frank and Helen to say their farewells without us hanging around.
It was unusually thoughtful of you, old girl, but I never got the chance to say goodbye to him.
Why was that?
Well, he left the room in a most dignified manner after tearing Frank off a real strip. I suspect that he thought that coming back would have ruined his exit. Maybe Caroline hasn't made such a bad choice after all. There's more to that young man than meets the eye.
Say that about a lot of people.
All in the past, old girl, all in the past.
Let's keep it that way, shall we?
Oh, I don't think it matters so much now. People have different attitudes these days, you know. By the way, did you retrieve your gadget from the garden?
Of course I did, during dinner. Oh, wait.
Don't be silly. Put that thing away before it goes off. It frightens me to death. Besides, we haven't got time. I'm not as young as I used to be. Anyway, here come Frank and Helen.
Well, that's them safely off on their trip of a lifetime. I do hope they have a good journey.
I'm sure they will. What have we done with Bruce?
Oh, the taxi driver helped us drag him next door. We left him propped up in his porch. It's heated, he'll be all right. He'll come round in half an hour or so. I'll keep an eye on him.
Won't somebody notice him laying there and call the police?
Nah, everyone's used to it. That's how he spends most afternoons. It's Caroline I feel sorry for.
Caroline? Why?
23 hours squeezed into her seat the size of a bread bin. Next to that idiot of a husband. Rather her than me.
Oh, come on, Frank, give the lad some credit. I think he should prove his medal with Bruce this afternoon, don't you?
I suppose so.
And I must say, he gave you a piece of his mind as well.
I didn't realise he had any to spare. Let's see if he brings Caroline back in one piece before I feel obliged to speak reasonably to him.
Well, at least they'll get a DVD.
Sorry, Jill.
A DVD. I read about it in the paper. If you go on a long flight, you get a DVD.
I think that's DVT. Not the same thing at all. But thanks for giving me something else to worry about. Look, I've still got time to pop out and pick up my prize turkey. Is anybody going?
No, that'll be fine, old girl.
I'm sure it's a DVD.
Why are you bothering?
What do you mean?
I mean, why are you bothering? We don't need it.
What do you mean we don't need it? It's my turkey. I want it. I want it.
You're bloody mad, woman. We've just eaten one turkey and we've got 3 others to get rid of. We've got more turkeys coming out of places I'd rather not mention. We need another turkey like we need another hole in the bun. We don't need another poultry. Just forget about it.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, thank the Lord, she's seen reason. I must make a note of the date.
No, I haven't seen reason. I don't want to see reason. I want my turkey. And I'm going to go out and get it, and you're not going to stop me. Do you realise from the moment I met you, I never won anything. I don't own anything I haven't had to work for or buy myself. You have never bought me anything. It's always been for the home, to make the little wife's life easier, or to be more accurate, your life easier. You've never bought me perfume. You've never bought me jewellery. You've never bought me anything that will make me feel just a little bit special, just a little bit bloody feminine.
Like a turkey.
Yes. No. Can't you see this is important to me?
And can't you see that there are insufficient words in the English language to adequately describe the extent to which I simply don't care?
You insufferable, arrogant, insensitive, thoughtless, irritating, unbearable, offensive little shit!
Calm down, woman.
I will not calm down. I will shout if I want, because I never ever complain when you are rude to our friends, when you are rude to our son-in-law, or rude to me. I put up with your intolerance and your constant complaining. Oh, it was funny 30 years ago, but now it just gets on my tits. To get my turkey, which we don't need, and I'm going to bring it home, because I want it, and because it's mine, but mainly because it pisses you off. When I get it home, I'm going to find somewhere to shove it. Sorry, Harry.
Well, I thought I handled that quite well.
I think you're running out of people to argue with. You are an insensitive sod, Frank. Go after her.
No, the walk will do her good. It'll help her calm down. I'll apologise when she gets back. It's not far, she won't be long. Do you fancy another beer, Harry?
Beer would be great, old boy.
Jill, same again?
Please, Frank. Actually, no, I'll have a beer as well. I'm still dry after that meal.
Actually, there's something I've been meaning to ask you all afternoon. And I might as well while Helen's out. See, Helen seems to think it's a big mystery, but then she's hooked on those American detective shows.
Fire away, old boy. We'll help if we can.
Well, Helen has got it into her head that there's some great dark secret about how you two got together.
So what?
So, how did you get together? Where did you meet?
Kathmandu.
At Tunbridge Wells.
It was Kathmandu.
It was Tunbridge Wells, or to be more precise, at Tunbridge Wells Gardeners Club, in the shed behind the allotments.
You goat. I didn't know you'd been to Kathmandu, Harry. Or that they grew runner beans and King Edwards in that part of the world. Come on, one of you's talking complete rubbish. What really happened?
Harry.
Jill, come on, it's been over 15 years. I think we've gotten away with our guilty secret. Besides, Frank's not going to spill the beans now, is he?
Gotten away with what?
15 years ago, I was president of the Tunbridge Wells Gardeners Club, and we had some allotments just outside Cottingley. It's a small village, about 75 houses, nearly 6 miles out of town. We were very good, regularly won prizes at all the local fetes and shows. I used to organise trips to Whistling. They were very well patronised. Do you know, I've still got some of the cups I won for my giant purple sprouting.
Unfortunately for me, he's only talking about his broccoli. No one cares, Harry. Get to the point.
Well, right. One day, Jill turns up, looking very bronzed and healthy. I've never seen her before.
Recently got back from Kathmandu. I'd spent the past 12 years living in Southeast Asia. I just rented a small house nearby.
She wanted to take on 3 allotments. 3! They were big allotments and they needed a lot of work. You probably know, if an allotment becomes uncultivated, it spreads weeds over everyone else's plot. So we jumped at the chance of having 3 taken at once.
Is this an integral part of the plot? If it's all the same to you, could we skip forward to the sex and violence?
Sex and violence? You mean the interesting bits? I'm getting there.
He's a slow starter. To get through the end, don't you, sweetie?
She was amazing. She'd single-handedly cleared all 3 allotments in less than a week. Do you know, I never quite worked out how you managed to get all that work done so quickly.
Well, since we're finally spilling the beans, I'll tell you, it was Bob a job week.
You employed? Oh, never mind. Next thing you know, she got the plot seeded and was down every day with our Owen rake. She was very attentive. I started chatting to her and we got quite friendly.
That's a nice story.
Yes, well, there's a bit more. You see, it was a warm summer and whatever she had planted started to grow very quickly. Now, despite my horticultural bent, I couldn't identify just what it was she was growing. But whatever it was, there was an awful lot of it. Jill said it was a variety of exotic fern. She was going to try and sell during her flower arrangement class. I thought she'd made a mistake, so I had it checked out.
You'd left well alone.
I wasn't to know. I only asked Bill Potts to take a look.
Bill Potts, secretary of Tunbridge Wells Gardeners Club and the local body. He cottoned on straight away.
Well, what was it?
Hemp.
What are you making from?
Cannabis. It was almost ready to be harvested. I wasn't going to sell it or anything. It was purely for my own purposes. Medicinal. Well, sort of.
Bill and I were in the dickens of a quandary. I mean, obviously neither of us wanted to bring the Gardeners Club into disrepute, and as I've grown quite fond of Jill over the past 3 months, we decided to get rid of the evidence.
So, after one of the hottest summers on record, what did this prize pair of vigilantes do? Set fire to the lot. Half an acre of cannabis. Went up like a rocket, then the trouble really started.
Boy, there was nothing left.
3 things. First, the wind changed direction and blew the smoke straight over Cottingley. Secondly, Cottingley was in a hollow. And thirdly, there was a meteorological phenomenon known as a thermal inversion, which made the cloud drop into the hollow and stay there.
For all weekend. The whole place was stoned for 2 years. You know, I've never heard a vicar sing Agadoo.
It was all hushed up. It was no one's interest to make a fuss. Most of the village didn't realise what had happened anyway. Bill stopped any gossip, and I persuaded Jill that it would be a good idea to settle down and put her misspent youth behind her.
So there were no repercussions then?
I wouldn't say that. Jill and I did get married.
Well, I'll get it. And almost exactly 9 months later, the population of Cottingley went up from 252 to 287. The end news of the world.
Well. So Jill was smuggling dope seeds into the country and then growing her own. She was a right little drugs baron, wasn't she? No wonder she kept it a secret.
She feels very bad about it now. She hasn't touched the stuff since.
Does explain why she's a bit loopy, though. You wait till Helen hears about her guilty secret. Oh, you don't mind if I tell Helen, do you?
No, I think we'll have to tell her now, but can you leave it until after Christmas, please, old boy?
Spoiled sport.
Oh, God! Frank, there's been an accident.
get in contact with Caroline and Adrian. They'll want to get straight back. We'll need to ring Tom as well. He'll want to come over.
What? Oh, yes, sorry, you're right. I'm not quite thinking straight at the moment. I'll call the airline. We've got a transit stop in Singapore. We can catch them there.
You stay there. Here. Drink this. I'll make the calls. Who are they with? Qantas, isn't it?
Yes, the contact numbers are on the telephone table. Thanks. Oh, Harry, could you turn the lights off, please? I've got the mother and father of all headaches coming on. Damn!
There's no need to shout, dear. What's the matter?
You're bloody dead, that's what.
Oh, you noticed that, did you?
I can't understand why everything still seems so normal out there. Some idiot wished me Merry Christmas. Merry bloody Christmas! I had him call me a miserable old git after we passed.
No change there, then.
That's the point. No one except me seems to have noticed that anything is different. Out there, it's as though nothing has changed. Until I get home. Even the house feels dead. You've only been gone a few hours.
Nothing is forever, Frank.
You think I don't know people die? Of course I do. I'm not stupid. But not you. Not yet. How can you prepare for something like this? You can't go on living your life as though everyone around you is going to snuff it as soon as they step out of the room. We have no chance to say goodbye. It feels as though you're still here. And I'm the one who's in a different place. The whole world seems, I don't know, foreign somehow. How could you do this to me?
You'll manage.
I'm not so sure I will.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Take some
It's just
time.
so unfair.
Pull yourself together and move on.
There's no point.
Do it for me.
I'll sue the bastards.
Who are you going to sue, Frank?
The supermarket, the council, God. I don't know. Whoever it was that didn't do their bloody job.
It won't bring you back, Frank.
Somebody has to pay. My wife is dead. My son has lost his mother. And my daughter. My daughter is carrying a child that will never know its grandmother. You'd have made a wonderful grandmother.
Our grandchild will still be part of both of us, Frank. It's a baby, Frank, something to look forward to.
Somebody should pay.
It was an accident. These things happen. It was dark and slippery, and I fell and hit my head. It was no one's fault. It was an accident.
I know. I wasn't there when I should have been. I wish we hadn't argued. I should have gone after you. I didn't think it mattered. I thought I had all the time I needed. Then suddenly, without any warning, it's too late to make it right.
Yes.
I should have told you how much I love you.
I know.